of that, Steve, of overall performance there?
Well, if it had been our aim to get a bonus point and win the game, then we achieved that. We also got the opportunity to blood some young men, and they got put under pressure by a good Argentinian side. I thought they played particularly well at times and put us under pressure, so we had to show a lot of mental fortitude. And we let in 3 tries, so some of our defensive work at times wasn't as good as it could have been, but they went for a 20-minute period there, I think, where we didn't touch the ball, so at some point we were going to let them have one. But I really liked the response. Every time they scored, we came back, and we showed a lot of strength of character, I think. So it wasn't a perfect performance by any stretch of the imaginations, but we had Artie playing his first 80-minute game. We had Shannon having to go 80 minutes. We lost a lot of players early, which we didn't expect to. It's not what you expect to do, and that has an effect on how you can use your bench later in the game. So we did well.
Steve, was it a bit of a tough day at the office for Richie? First, the kind of start at test level. How do you think he coped, and did Nani's injury affect Richie's game at all?
It was always going to be a tough day for him because the opposition are a tough side to play against. And but I felt he acquitted himself quite well. We've been trying to say that Test rugby is a lot different than Super Rugby, and he's come into this team, and for a young man to have to drive it around for the first time, he did okay. I mean, there's parts of his game that he won't be happy with, and I'm sure the next time he gets to pull the black jersey on, which he'll get another opportunity for sure, he'll get better and better and better for it. And it's a very, very difficult position to come in and be the linchpin. So he was okay. We were happy enough with him.
Steve, what are the early assessments on Brodie and Nani's injuries, please?
Nani's done a knee ligament. Don't know how long that's going to be. We'll get a better idea. And Brode's shoulder's pretty sore. And again, we don't know that until we get him scanned on Monday. So, can't really tell you any more than that they're both pretty sore boys. So.
Steve, you think TJ stepped up to their number one position today, and also a special moment for Triple T?
Yeah, I thought TJ was good. It's always difficult when your job's to come off the bench and set, you've got a certain task to do when you come off the bench, and he had a new role this week, and again, thought he acquitted himself quite well. He'll be happy enough. He'll learn some things though, of course, and as they all will, and I thought Te Toroa was outstanding. He came on and just needed to do what he did do, and his clearances were great, set up a lovely try with Damien, and he did well.
Kieran, there were a lot of breaks that the team made in the first half, with maybe a couple of passes being popped and things. Was there a little bit of frustration, maybe a lack of patience out there at times?
Not too much frustration. I think, we did talk about that. Once we made those breaks, we just, probably got a bit too eager. A lot of new men in our team that, you got to work hard to put teams away. And we did speak about that quite early. Once we did change that mindset and really treasured the ball, I think it did pay dividends to us. So it was part of the game we have to work on. I don't think South Africans will be any different next week, so we have to really treasure the ball.
Kieran, happy with the way the scrum went today?
Really happy. Argies are a good forward pack, and we put them under pressure right from the outset, so the big boys, deserve a big pat on the back for that. And you never really know what you're going to get in a scrum against the Argentinians. That they throw a lot of tricks at us, and I think we dealt with it really well today.
Ian, what's the key now for Richie, having had that game? What is it that you'll do over the next few days to make sure that he maximises every opportunity to learn what he needs to out of that performance?
Oh, really the same as every other player. It's just a matter of going away. I think it's important tonight. He sits back and takes a lot of satisfaction that he's had his first test start and had a good win against Argentina, and he's done a heck of a lot of right things. But for the next 48 hours, just like all of us, we'll go through and review some of the decisions and how he felt, how he saw things, and just sort of and just work through the work-ons and the learnings from that. So it's no different to any other player. You just go through a process of learning, and he was faced with a whole lot of different things today. That it was a very buoyant Argentinian team. They defended well, and he had some tough decisions that he had to try and make, and a lot of them came off, and a couple didn't.
Joe, down the back.
Steve, just a word on what it's been like to be in Nelson this week, the response you've received, and how have you guys enjoyed it?
It's been great. I mean, the weather's tremendous, apart from night time. When the sun goes down, it gets a bit cold, but I thought, and I've made comment about this before, I think the park is fantastic. It's probably one of the better pitches we've ever played on, and I know Terra Firma and Chris Lewis have done a lot of work on it, so they should be congratulated for that. The community's been fantastic. Everywhere we've gone, we've been well received, and probably too well received, really. But no, it's been a pleasure to be here, and really enjoyed it. So again, it's a great. New Zealand's one of the few places that takes their national team around the country, and it's just a great reminder that the All Blacks are the people's team, and we enjoy coming to places like this.
Steve, what do you make of Shannon Frizzell's performance tonight? Is he putting pressure on the likes of Squire after his efforts?
I think it's a bit early to say he's putting pressure on Squire, but you couldn't be anything other than extremely happy with him. Did we plan to give him 80 minutes? Probably not. Did he go 80 minutes? Yep, he did. And at one point I thought, I'm not sure if he's going to get there, and then he found a second wind, and he and Artie, I thought, were outstanding. In that last 15 minutes, they found another cog and carried well for us, and but he can be really satisfied, on reflection, how well he's gone, and I think he's got a big future.
Jamie, yep, on the left. Yep. Kieran, just a few wobbles in the line-out. What was being set out there to try and rectify that?
Yeah, for us in the line-out's process from our point of view, so there's a couple of things that aren't quite going our way there at the moment, but it's not just one thing. It's either our jump and our lift isn't right, or potentially the throw's not right on another occasion. So it's putting it together, timing. It's one of those skills that it comes down to just nailing it when you get the opportunity. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Just a couple of missed times.
Hamish, down the back.
Steve, I'm curious about the mood in here. Like, you've won by 20 points against a hard team. Some young guys have been tested. That's surely valuable, but it's like a morgue. Like, do you sometimes feel you're on a hiding to nothing, or do you set such high standards that anything other than like 30 or 40 points is sombre? Like, how would you describe it? Like, do you ever feel like you get the credit for having done a job well?
Oh, you probably summed it up, you guys and us. Like, we have huge expectations. I think there's one of the things that's constant in the All Blacks, the external expectations are massively high, and as are the internal ones. So we expect to play well, and we expect to win well, and even when we make changes like we have, those expectations don't change. So I guess people get a bit sombre, I suppose, but when you sit back and reflect on what we have achieved, we've actually done really well tonight, and scored a bonus point win against Argentina. I don't know that we've scored that many tries against them in a home game for quite some time, so there are some real good positives there, yeah. Thank you for stating the obvious, though. I look forward to reading your positive comments. I hope everyone else follows your cue.